Owlman. Most know the character as the villainous alternate version of Batman from Earth 3, but that has not been the only version of Owlman to grace DC Comics. There is also a heroic Owlman. No, not Roy Raymond Jr., someone even before that. The Roy Raymond Jr. version was from The Outsiders. We're going to be looking at one that dates all the way back to the Silver Age. A version that was an aged up Dick Grayson. We have much to discuss. This video was inspired by the user Talk to Myself, who stated on a poll about Owlman that I posted, "Nobody respects how Dick Grayson became the first Owlman in Batman 107. Frowny face." I'm Sasha, this is Casually Comics, and today we're going to put some respect on Dick Grayson Owlman's name. The story we're going to be looking at is called The Grown-Up Boy Wonder. It was written by Bill Finger with art by Sheldon Moldoff and inks by Stan Kaye. It was published in 1957 and was from the aforementioned Batman 107. It was the last story in the issue and has subsequently been reprinted. Probably the most easy way to access it is in the Robin anniversary. Robin the Boy Wonder, a celebration of 75 years. Back in Batman 107, it was the cover story, and oh, what a cover it was. They don't know I'm really Robin.
Batman and that fellow who's taken Robin's place. Owlman!
With a mask like that, who could mistake him? I enjoy that he's still got his legs out and he's still in garish colors. The cover is lying a bit though, for his costume is actually green with a gold belt, not all golden. He's clashing even harder than he is on the cover. What's this? Has the famed crime-fighting team of Batman and Robin actually split up? Has Batman allied himself with a new partner? Is the Boy Wonder through? Each question has two answers, yes and no. Did I write this? You'll soon learn how the paradox is possible when you read the astonishing story of The Grown-Up Boy Wonder. Don't worry, Batman. Owlman will save you.
Oh, look, Batman's got a new partner.
Yeah, he's got a man to take Robin's place. Look out, men. Batman is no longer using child labor. Now, because of the part of the Silver Age we're in, which is fairly early on, it's not odd to have an alien plot pop up, and that's the reason for what's going to happen to Robin. Aliens. One night in the subsurface Batcave, Bruce Wayne and young Dick Grayson, who are actually Batman and Robin, examine a queer object.
There it is, Dick, the thing Superman found floating in outer space. It's lead lined, so Superman couldn't use his X-ray vision on it.
And he left it with us until he got back from his current mission. I wonder what's inside. Silver Age Superman needs to really just stop leaving his stuff with people, giving it to people. I mean, I guess we can say it's a good thing he didn't live with Jimmy. Jimmy will just straight up drink or eat the things that Superman leaves with him. When Bruce opens the box, a gas leaks out and Dick ends up inhaling it and it knocks him out, and this is what ages him up. There's a sweet moment that isn't really acknowledged where it looks like Bruce sat with him all night just to make sure he was okay, but then at the same time the dialogue says, wow, look at yourself, and if he had been there all night he would have noticed that he was just growing and growing and growing in the bed. But still, sweet moment. Now, neither of them are sure how long this transformation is going to last, and Bruce is up for opting to wait until Superman comes back and then they can ask him about it, this thing that he has left them. Does he know anything about it? Silver Age Superman, always off in space to avoid the consequences of his actions. Now, trouble arises when crime is brewing and they need the dynamic duo. It won't fit. What am I gonna do?
Stay home.
I got an idea. Since I'm a man now, why can't there be two of us? Two Batmen. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You save ideas like that for decades later in Batman Incorporated.
You may look like a man, but you'll think like a boy. Act like a boy. You've got a lot of growing to do before you're really a man.
But when Batman leaves, Dick reacts like an impulsive youngster. Daddy issues. I'll show him I'm a real man. This owl costume Bruce was going to wear at the masquerade ball next week, it's just what I need. This will not endear you to him. Now what will he wear to the ball? He's gonna have to get a whole new fit. Robin, now Owlman, rides the back of the Batmobile to get to the crime. Soon after, Batman intercepts a red-garbed trio. We got the Diamonds, Batman,
The Daredevils again. The furry circus acrobats who turned bandits.
I see you pre-Marvel Daredevils all in your red. In all fairness to Marvel's Daredevil, his first costume was mostly yellow. But you still see these. Look at them. Don't they look very Daredevil-esque? Is there something about wearing red spandex? Does that just conjure the image of a Daredevil to mind? Batman's got a man to take Robin's place. Dick, wearing my masquerade costume. That foolish kid disobeyed my orders. I'd tan his hide if he wasn't so big now. No spanking in this comic. Did these Daredevils draw on their mustaches or are they just pencil thin? Owlman tries to make himself useful, but he's not able to because he hasn't adapted to his man body. So he keeps trying to do moves that he could do as a child but can't now because he's misjudged his weight or the trajectory, and it's usually the weight. He snaps a pole because he weighs more, things like that. This is meant to show that Batman is right, that he is still thinking like a kid. And this issue also has some decent background drama. It's not overly dwelt on, but it's there. There's the acknowledgement that Batman is fighting with a child and what that means versus a man, kinda. It's skirting below the surface, but this comic does kind of acknowledge that dynamic. duo.
Oh, terrible.
Also, a truant officer visits Bruce when Dick isn't at school, and Dick himself is missing the friends he's hanging out with. There are a couple of early stories where it acknowledges that people check up on Bruce being Dick's guardian. Now, Dick doesn't have a lot of time to dwell on being sad because he's got to prove himself. He's gonna track the Daredevils down all on his own. I'll show Batman, I'll handle them all by myself. Oh man. But forgetting how tall he is now, he doesn't duck under a low beam as he charges forward and bonk. Ugh, what a break. He knocked himself out. This guy who's taking Robin's place. We can identify him. We can track down Batman's identity through his. You know, if this is a common thing, you'd think that all the people who kidnapped Robin would just unmask him right away. I guess not all the criminals are operating on the same level. Not everybody has the brain power of the Daredevils. The mask also looks so cozy in this panel. Like you could pet it. Like it's got that feather lightness. It reminds me of very early in the Golden Age where for 2 seconds Catwoman had an entire cat head. The fact that his mask and wings are brown and his bodysuit is Peter Pan green is irking me. Now unmasking Dick does nothing because they don't recognize him and nobody knows who he is. Did the Justice League Unlimited crew read this issue?
If nothing else, I can at least learn the Flash's secret identity. I have no idea who this is.
Thankfully, Batman was also on the Daredevil's tail and so was able to come and rescue Dick, who is comedically bound because they've left his wings kind of alone. I don't know, I would have taken the wings off. Is it attached? Because it wasn't attached in the closet. Batman, you were right. I've still got a lot of growing to do before I can be a real man.
Well, as long as you can admit that, then you're not a kid any longer.
I can't do Batman voice today. My throat is sore.
Instead, you're getting bargain bin basement discount Timu Adam West impersonation.
Minutes later, the team of Batman and Owlman renew their attack on Crimedom.
Come on, partner, let's show them how a couple of men can fight.
And so they get to fight side by side as men, as equals.
It's actually really wholesome.
This whole issue does highlight how much Bruce cares about Dick. Yes, there's that tan-your hide line, but that feels more period typical than anything else. Aside from that, you see that he's genuinely concerned for Robin. And he also isn't wrong in judging Robin's mindset. It's a coming-of-age speed run for Dick, and he doesn't even have to get shot. Plus, Batman takes out a villain by coming at him on an office chair. 10 out of 10, no notes.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Now with the bonding done, the Gasper is off and Dick is once more a child. And he gets to return happily to play with his friends. And I guess Gotham is just left to ponder the mystery of who was Owlman? Why did Batman fire him and replace him once more with a child? Did Superman ever come back from space and address this? What did Bruce end up wearing to that masquerade ball? He can't wear that, then they'll think that Bruce Wayne is Owlman. We'll save that confusion for decades later. This is a fun one and done Robin story. It's interesting that they don't go with the dream framework for this, but actually use a maturing alien gas. So it's something that really happened. You also get to see that attachment of owls and bats early on. It's interesting to see it here in the more heroic sense, because when they use it for the alternate on Earth 3 with the more villainous setting, that does make a bit more sense because owls are a predator to bats. I mean, you couldn't call him Hawkman, they already have that, and Snake Man moves you away from the flying theme. But it is fascinating to see this as a choice for a heroic version of an aged up Robin. This story and version of Owlman are fairly memory holes. They've certainly been overshadowed by the villainous Owlman. Even though the first 1960s version of Owlman from Earth 3 did also have a very owl-centric mask. Not a full head, but still. Did Ron really misjudge that jump where he knocked himself out? Or were the eye holes in that mask not good? There would be a later take on a heroic Owlman, but there's something about this original Silver Age version that has that unique flair of the era that's very hard to replicate. So what do you think? Are you here for Owlman Dick Grayson? A real man? Do you feel they need to revisit this in some capacity? On Earth 3, Dick Grayson did become Talon, a sidekick to Owlman. At least it seemed to be him based on context and skill set. This in the post-crisis era. And then they would play with the idea of him as a Talon in the New 52, but on the main Earth, though they would shift what that would mean, but it's not entirely forgotten. What do you think of this aged up Dick Grayson? Do you love the look of this Owlman? Is it not for you? Is all of this too silly? I want to hear your thoughts. Please put them down below. And while you're down there, please all YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking Saturday night spent discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.